Welcome back, YouTube family. We are here for another Market Watch video. It is the first Sunday of October. We are rolling out of September, which tends to be one of the worst trading months of the year. So now it's time to get a lot of that volatility back and make some good trades and also make some good money. We're going to go over Tesla and also DraftKings and see what they did from last week, since we went over them and tried to look at their charts and see what they were going to do. We're going to review them and, kind of see what levels they went to and maybe where they didn't get to. And also we're going to add one more stock to the stock of the week watch list. That way we can have something that we want to review this coming weekend and see what it did as well. As always, if you enjoy the content, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And go ahead and hit that thumbs up and also share with your friends. Alright guys, let's jump over to the charts and dig into the details. Alright guys, here we are back on Tesla for the third week in a row, and there is a lot of reason we are back on Tesla. If you want to look at the volatility that they have had for the past few days, beginning on Monday and then last Friday, there was a lot of movement and a lot of opportunities for some day trades. We're going to see here that last Friday they bounced off of the 20 on the EMA on the daily chart and then ran up and closed at the 775. Now, we did talk about this last Sunday, and we were looking for the 780 line, which was this line right here, which we had already drawn, and we knew that this was a level. We had already talked about this several times, and then we knew that 800 was going to be the next level above 780. What happened is, for 2 days, right after it ripped through the 780 line, we were sitting here discussing whether or not it was going to bounce off of 780 and pull back a lot like we had had here and we had had this Monday. We had two big drawbacks, and then we had a push and we had two pushes up. This Monday we were kind of looking for maybe a pullback and then a push up, but we did not get that. Instead, what we had was an opening pullback of barely a few dollars from that Monday morning, and then we had the rip through 780 all the way up, and if you were to look where it closed, it was right below 800. It never broke the 800 mark, and that was the level that we were looking at as a really strong ceiling. And there is a reason for that, and we all know that is because it is such a strong century mark. If you're going to rip through 800, you're going to need a really big bounce, or you're going to need a really big catalyst. Tesla didn't have a big catalyst last week. They just had this upward momentum, which helped them on Monday. But what you see here is you see the downward trend, which happened here, and then it moved down all week long. Now, I'm not going to say that this was a really big downward movement on Tesla, just because they've had so much upward momentum for the past, how many weeks was this? We have this week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5. We're having several months here of just upward momentum, trending upwards. We've been looking at this upward trend line for a lot of weeks. So we knew that eventually Tesla was going to get overextended, and they were going to have to pull back a little bit. The biggest question was, how much were they going to pull back from that overextension? Well, Friday was a really good telltale mark, because they ran up to 775 and they were set to rip through 780, which they did, and then they pulled back. So now we are sitting at a crucial level on Tesla. The other question is whether or not this news that I had pulled up on the left-hand side of the screen is going to actually be the catalyst that we need to rip them through 800. What we have is news that came out on the 2nd, which was yesterday, October the 2nd, 2021. Tesla reports that it produced approximately 238,000 vehicles in Q3 and delivered 241,000 vehicles. We have here the quarterly tally for the electric vehicle juggernaut included the Model S, obviously. Deliveries of over 9,000 vehicles, and the Model 3Y deliveries of 232,000 vehicles. Tesla is shipping a lot of machines. They are dumping out the cars right now. There was a dip. I didn't buy it. I hope there were a lot of people that bought the Tesla dip because they're about to make a few dollars. Tesla right now seems really bullish. We sit here and say that here we go again, Wedbush Securities forecast Tesla will deliver around 890,000 to 900,000 for the year. Tesla is pushing out a lot of machines. The biggest issue right now that they're running into is the chip shortage. I don't know how that's going to continue to factor in, but this news right here, which was delivered on a Saturday, would be a very strong catalyst for tomorrow morning. We can no longer look at this downward trending, this upward trending line here and this downward trending line here, but what we want to look at is possibly this formation here. So we have a consolidating banner which is no longer respecting this trend line, which we talked about last week. We talked about this last week and said, okay, if Tesla continues to move higher, we're no longer going to look at this because it is so high above that it's not really relevant anymore. And that's exactly what happened with this here. That's exactly what happened. We had no pullback. So now we are looking at the 9 EMA, which was very supportive. I am really strongly looking at the 790, and then we're going to look for a bullish rip over 800. Again, I'm looking for bullish momentum on Tesla this coming week. I'm looking for a rip over 800, and then I am looking for a possible push. We already have a new high here. Honestly, we don't have any really significant levels that we can sit here and say, okay, what is in between 800 and the 876 level? Now we have a few gapping levels here, but they're really nothing strong. There's nothing like that has multiple touches. So it's really tough to say these are going to be resistance levels. But they're going to be the only levels that are there to be looked at. So it's very, very possible that other people are going to see the same levels and say, okay, this is all I have to go on. I'm going to set my freaking stop losses here, or I'm going to set my ads, or I'm going to set a level to go short if it does get to this level. So let's go ahead and scoot back here. We are moving back to February. And here are our gap up levels. We are looking at 822. And we're going to move this level here up to, since we've already moved past this level, here. This is actually a good level here. 845 and 822. If we can move through the 800 level, whether it be tomorrow or Tuesday, then our next target is 822. And that's when it's basically going to be between 822 and 800. We're going to have that channel, and that's where we're going to trade in. I feel very strong about that level, and that's basically what we're looking at for Tesla. So go ahead and be excited. Tesla should give us more volatility this coming week. Keep it on your radar. Let's go, Tesla. Let's jump over to DraftKings and see what they did last week. All right, guys, here we are on DraftKings. We looked at this stock last week, and we wanted to see the pullback below the 200 EMA on the daily. And the $50 mark was supposed to be a resistance if it went through to bounce off. Or we basically want to see if it would be a support once it went below and came back up. This is what we have. We have right here the $50 mark, and it did lose that level right here. And let's go ahead and mark this. This was the day right here where it went through that level and it lost to 50 and it moved much lower all in one day. DraftKings had a lot of bearish movement, and it did give the bounce that we were looking for. It gave us the short opportunity that we were looking for. I know that we had talked about the consolidation levels, which were right around here and were right around here. We said that if it were to lose this level right here, that it would continue down and possibly find this level, which would be around this area, which was right below the $50 mark, and then rebound. What did we have? We had it move right down to this level, which was right here, and then we had the rebound. This was a stock respecting something that had found some levels back in August. It didn't really have the bearish movement to the low side that most bears wanted it to continue down. It already had such a huge move down that it was going to be really tough to continue. I mean, if you look at this movement that we were talking about, this is where we were last weekend, and we were looking at this movement right here. We did have this drop, and we had a $4 move. So this gave a really good short opportunity if you were on top of it and you were looking for the loss of the $50 mark. It gave the beautiful, beautiful short opportunity. And once it went down and they realized that, okay, we're not going to continue down. We're going to catch this low here and we're going to bounce back off. And that's where we were. Friday, it actually rebounded, ripped 350, and we closed at $50.50. As far as DraftKings goes, I would look for it to possibly rebound back up to the 200 EMA on the daily, which is right around the $52 mark. And then I would look for it to try to find value again, which is exactly what we've seen here. We saw it find value for 2 weeks. It found value for 2 weeks here. So it's only natural to expect DraftKings to try to find value for about a week here, which is going to be around between $50 and $52. I would, this may be something that you're going to want you're going to want volume and volatility to come in before you would really want to try to swing this. I wouldn't look for it to go any lower unless there was some more negative news. So I hope you guys enjoyed that trade. We did call that one, and I hope everybody was able to take advantage of that if they were looking at DraftKings. Next, let's look at the next stock that we're going to want to look at for the stock of the week. All right, guys, the stock of the week is going to be LCID, otherwise known as Lucid. If you guys have watched any of my recap videos from last week, you will know that I have been day trading Lucid on the daily for the past week and a half. They've had a lot of volatility and they've had a lot of news that has been coming out causing their stock to bounce up and down several dollars per day. If we look over here at the daily chart, we're going to see that for the past few days they have had a stock go from 24 up to 26. From 26 up to 28, from 27 down to 25, and from 25 down to 24.2. They have a lot of volatility. The only thing that can mean is that either A, they're going to find a value channel, which it looks like they really have right here. As you can see, they found this channel right here in between 28 and 24, again, which is a $4 average range of movement, which is a really good range for a $25 stock. That's a really good channel of movement, giving a lot of opportunities for day trading and even swing trading. If you were to find the right time to go in and to buy, you could easily hold this overnight and make a big move to the short side or to the long side. The biggest issue is you have to know where the levels are and where you're going to want to move either back up or if you can expect it to move down. You have to understand when it's looking like it's oversold or when it's in a value channel and maybe you're only going to get a couple dollars of movement, which you should be okay to hold for maybe more than one day. Right now we have a close at 24.6, which is on the low end of the spectrum for the past 2 weeks. What this tells me is that Lucid has been trying for several days here and here to move higher. It has been unable to move past this level, which was set back here in July. I'm not going to say whether or not there may be any more catalysts that come out for Lucid, because they did have some positive catalysts this week about the release of their new car, and it's being produced, and they actually have some forward movement and forward momentum as far as deliveries and stuff like that. So there could very well be some positive momentum this week. But from just looking at the charts, I would be willing to bet that trending tomorrow, Lucid is a very good bet to lose this level and move back down towards the 200 EMA on the daily, which is around the $21.50 mark. Again, this is what I'm thinking could happen, but I don't know what kind of news is going to be released, so I'm just going to say that I'm going by the charts, and I'm also going by this consolidation for the past 2 weeks. Lucid did try to make a lot of moves up this week again. That's why I've been keeping my eye on it. And you see all these horizontal lines. These are all marks that I've placed on the charts while I've day traded them this week. So without a really strong catalyst, I could easily see Lucid continuing to move lower. My God, that's a big arrow. I could see them move lower this week from this topping candle here, and see a trending pattern downwards, possibly through the 20 EMA on the daily, and here we are on the weekly, and we could see a movement back down this way. So this is going to be the stock to watch of the week. Watch Lucid to the short side. Thanks you guys for coming by. As always, I hope you enjoy this content. We're going to come back and have a look next week and see how our predictions played out. Take care and have a great week.